Boys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be taking a look at 3 of the rarest cars in the game. So it's going to be a bit of a quicker video, but these cars are worth making the video on. I don't want to stretch it out too long because I feel like I should cover this more often since it is changing, as this week they re-released the Carlton, or not this week I should say, but like this series, if you know what I mean. It's going to be unlockable, no longer rare. So we're going to be covering 3 cars. I'm going to categorize 2 cars into the same one since they're technically the same kind of deal. And those 2 cars are actually both Fords. One of them looks like this Ford GT here. I don't actually own it because it was kind of a silly waste of money for people to buy. Essentially, if you bought nail polish at this one point in time, you received a code for the Ford GT OPI edition. It was like pretty much the exact same car, so I never did it. You can find the exact paint job and get the exact car in game pretty much, so that's what I've done here. And I don't want to say Forza teaming up with a nail polish company was the worst collaboration in history, but I feel like it made 0 sense, and there probably wasn't worse companies that they could have collabed with. Lots of their other collabs, like their Hot Wheels one, have made sense, but this one was just weird and didn't match any of the things they'd done before. So this is the first card. There's 2 in this number 3 spot, and the second one I actually do have the version of, and it's right here, the 5-window deluxe coupe Forza edition. Again, it's the exact same pretty much as like this car right here. On this side, they're both called the same thing. However, this one handles better off-road, and you can't get exactly the same as this in-game. And there is a story behind it every time I talk about this car. I tried to buy the code online because I didn't want to purchase a controller because I already had a very nice controller and wouldn't have ended up using it. So I went online to try and purchase the code, and I got scammed one time trying to buy it. And then I ended up getting it the second time, but I did get scammed for like $60. It was a soak. I made a video on it. It did pretty well. And anyways, this card came out pretty much at the launch of Horizon 5 if you bought their specialty controller, which was actually a little hard to get your hands on because they sold out very quickly. So I would say this car is a little more rare than the OPI edition, because the OPI anyone could get their hands on if they just ordered a certain like $20 worth of nail polish in a time frame. However, this one had a finite amount of codes out there, which meant that only a certain number of these are able to exist. Now obviously with modders and modded accounts, it's a little bit different. However, this is still a little more rare to me than the OPI. But that covers our 2 cars at the number 3 position, and we're gonna go ahead and actually get into real cars that you guys could go ahead and buy from the festival. And the first one here is actually one that has been consistently rare, and I know some of you guys might disagree with this, but with its price point getting locked much lower than people are hoping, and it being such a sought after car because it's just such a cool supercar, it's a Lamborghini, this has become quickly one of the rarest cars in the game. Again, it released about a month or 2 ago, and lots of people obviously went to get it. However, it's consistently staying rare because of what it is, and Forza likes to do that thing that they're doing in Horizon 5 where they lock the price. So if people can't sell it for 20 million, they don't really want to sell it at all, so none are really floating around on the auction house. And other than it looking insanely cool, it looks a lot like a GTA car. Like, I know it's a real car, but just, I don't know, it reminds me of a car straight from GTA because their cars look a little bit different in that game, if you understand. But it's also insanely fast. It can be a super good drag car, as most Lamborghinis are. It's not the fastest in the game, but it's a very good track car as well because it hugs corners tightly. So all these things together make it a very sought after car. And the fact that people can't sell it for 20 million makes them a little less likely to post it up, making this car once again one of the rarest in the game. However, I'm sure many of you watching this video likely have your hands on one. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at our last car on the list today at our number 1 spot. Quick shout out to the Carlton. You will be remembered in our hearts. But our number 1 today actually hasn't made a list in a long time, which is surprising, but it's the Unicorn V2 here. And what makes it so rare is it doesn't release very often. It hasn't released in a little while, but its price point is locked extremely low, like below $3 million. And this was one of the first cars to have that happen to it. So not pretty much any have gone up for sale since it's been locked and didn't re-release. So there's a very specific number of these floating around that will, chances are, never go up for sale. They are on modded accounts, which will likely put them up for sale for nothing. However, as far as vanilla game goes, this is one of the rarest cars in the game because they're not gonna be going up for sale. It's only about $2.5 million. And people want the car because it can have an 8 times multiplier. It's only beat by the Peel, but let's be honest, you're not going to be racking up your drift score as fast with the Peel as you are the Unicorn, so having that extra 1% doesn't actually matter. And this car was actually more sought after right when the game came out because there wasn't any of those skill point races to get skill points. So what people would do is they'd come drift up and down the festival here. It's actually one of my better performing videos, was using this car and explaining how you could go ahead and do that. It's how I hit legendary tuner. But for that reason, many people wanted this car, and it's price locked very early on because Forza realized how many people were sniping for it and putting it back up for 20 million. So they tried to put a stop to that, thus making this car extremely rare for an extremely long time. So if you're ever trying to get a high drift score, likely this is the car you're going to want to go for, but good luck getting your hands on one if you don't already have one in your garage, because they are extremely hard to get. Anyways, boys, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. We only covered 3 cars today, but if I missed ones, which I'm sure I did, let me know down below which ones you think trump the ones on this list, and I'll make another video soon including those. If you made it all the way through to the end, let me know with a comment or a like, and I'll be sure to reply or heart your comment. As always, we'll see you boys in the next one. I'm out. Oh, peace.